Hey guys, Capta here. Welcome to another YouTube video. Sorry for the inconsistency in the past few weeks, but me and Qrei are going to work really hard to get maybe 2 videos a week out for all the future. Going to switch up the content, going to change some stuff. It's not just going to be live coaching, it's going to be some VOD reviews, some interesting videos, some analytics stuff, maybe some fun stuff, maybe some content based videos as well. This video is going to be watching and kind of speaking about what Qrei did to win 2 games in this last week of FNCS. This is off the back of campfires being nerfed, so he couldn't restoke campfires, so he had to think of a different way during the week to try and qualify through these FNCS Opens. Unfortunately, he couldn't do so, but he did win 2 games in the process, and those 2 games we're going to watch today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, we'll try and bang out the content over the next few weeks. Sorry for the long intro, but I hope you guys enjoy. Right, so to start this game off, you've got Qrei landing at the bottom right side of the map, quite near a lot of fishing spots, very dead side. It's going to be really hard for people to fight him around this side of the map. So I think the reason he's done this is for those reasons. He doesn't want to get fought. He wants to be able to get those floppers and then rotate very late with as many fish and whites as he can. You've got his teammate, Ajax. I think I've said that right, Ajax, landing at kind of the top middle right area. So he's going to fish probably between Steamy and Dirty, I'd imagine. He's going to fish, loot these kind of solo spot areas. So I think he's quite confident he won't get pushed either. And you've got Magix probably, landing at Flopper Island. So this one's a bit more risky, I'd say. Landing Flopper Island is a little bit sketchy because if a trio sees him, he might die. But again, a little bit of solo loot, maybe get some bandages and medkits as well as the ability to fish lots. And I think they're just going to group much later in this game. We'll see what they get up to. As we thought, Aegis is going to try and carry as many white hills as he can. Driving around in this IO car is going to make things nice and fast for him. And yeah, so the basis of this strategy, guys, is so Campfire's got buffed up to 600 mats to restoke, and you can't do that because the cap mats is 500. So Qrei's basically had to rethink a strat where you don't have to use that restoke ability of a campfire. So this isn't the same as we used to see from Qrei, where he would farm lots of wood, restoke campfires, sit on the campfire and kind of gather all the heals around there. This is a very different strat that we're seeing from him. Little update on where all the guys are. We've got Qrei swimming around the right side from the bottom right to meet at Steamy, and we've also got Magix doing the same thing. The reason I think they've chosen Steamy for this game is because they've got this kind of trifecta. They've got one around this left side, one around the right side, and one bottom right. And I think what that means is when they all meet at the top, when it's not in the storm circle, so when it's not in that circle, all meeting at the top means they can do all these storm plays without getting fought or seen. So I think they're going to plan on hanging out in storm for a bit to live and gather as many whites as they can. I think the one weakness we see from Qrei's strats is the fact that people can push him. Qrei, I'm sure, is a decent player, but he's definitely a better healer than he is a player. And I think when he gets caught with no guns trying to heal off, you see some pretty interesting match histories where you've got win, 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 spawn death, spawn death, spawn death, spawn death. And that's often, with this heal off strat, the cause of his non-qualifications. We're in Steamy, we're gathering whites, and what they're actually going to do here is something really smart. We haven't really seen this from anyone before. He's taking full damage to try and die on this platform, and because he's going from his platform to his wood platform, when he crawls off it, he's gonna die full, right? Pretty much the point of this. So they're dying a fool, dropping all their loot on the reboot van, and then right here we've got Ajax going to reboot them both. Honestly, I can put this in 4 times speed. It is a lot of repeat, you know? They're repeating this over and over again. They're gliding up in that stack, they're getting on, they're jumping off, one of them staying down, healing and rebooting, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Having done it at Steamy, they now want to go a bit nearer towards zone, but they want to stay in storm here. So they're going to go to this Orchard reboot van now. They're going to run towards Orchard. He's got a nice loadout of whites, so does Qrei, and so does Magix. Magix maybe a bit less on the white heals, but he's going to loot a bit more, see if he can get the white heals up. But the principle of this is that they're kind of reboot hopping nearer to zone with the plan. They've got all their whites naturally, right? They've got their heals, they've got their bandages, medkits, some floppers. And then they're grouping at Steamy, which doesn't have many whites naturally, especially when it's looted. So they're kind of losing their whites there, but they're just rebooting to kill time. And when they've killed that time at Steamy rebooting and they're holding all those whites now, they're meeting up at kind of a white heal location. So they're going to a cabbage spot, a corn spot, and orchard is perfect for this. As far as I'm aware, about 40 or 50 cabbage even. And you've got Qrei dying on top. As you can see, what he's doing to make this efficient as it is, he's making sure he dies on this ramp. And this full damage leaves the loot next to the reboot van to then recycle. He's not jumping off this ramp and crawling and waiting. He's dying on the ramp to then fall and the loot hits the ground. And then you've got Magic's popping a couple bandages because it's only one tick currently, I believe. He's fine. And then they kind of gather all the heals, loot up a bit more, and they've got all these apples and noms as well. So many whites in orchard. Magic's is going to keep farming, and if we get an update on what Qrei and Ajax are doing, they're actually getting all the loot corny now. So they're grabbing all the corn, grabbing some chests for the bandages for it as well. Compared to this game, they're so deep in Storm. So they're not going to have a problem here getting keyed. And I think that's a really nice part of the strategy for Qrei. If he can kind of perfect this, if possible, what's going to happen is actually they're so deep in Storm playing these white heals that they're actually just not, they're not getting fought by anyone. No one sees this. I'd say the only blockages to this, right? Some potential stream snipers. Maybe you've got some people that know they're in the game from the kill feed or whatnot. Maybe the report player section. Yeah, that could be the end of their game. But other than that, if they can play Storm up to this point with all these nice heals, I think they're in a really nice spot. Update on Magic's. He's still in Orchard. Qrei is, I hope and assume, is going to drive back to that orchard and meet with Magic's. Exactly. So now all these dead bodies worth of loot, instead of throwing them or dropping them, they're actually dying on the reboot van. So it's actually a weirdly efficient way of dropping all the loot in one place. So and then you see Qrei losing all his whites up top so that he can crawl off and dive full. And then you've got Magic's getting the reboot off. At this point in time, they're all staying alive. So as you saw with the original Qrei strat, you had to kill 2 players off pretty early. You had to let your 2 teammates die so that all the whites are yours. And we're at that point in the game now where they're, because of this reboot van giving you 100 white, they're able to constantly keep getting those white health to then give them time to go recollect whites and reboot their mates and heal and so on and so forth. I believe eventually it's going to be left to 1 player dying over and over again. But for now, it's heal, reboot, heal, reboot, heal, reboot in turns and turn. And I think we'll fast forward now to a little bit later in the game when after all these reboots are done, we've got a big collection of heals because I assume they keep trading this up for a while. They do. They keep trading this up for a little while. So we're going to wind that forward a little bit. And we're still going. We got all the reboots going on. We've got Ajax popping all the heals now. And I think he's going to struggle rebooting them in last moving. So it'll be interesting to see how that... Now it is panic stations because you've got to pop this stuff quick. In this tick of a zone, 8th zone, you've got to pop heals fast, and they're doing that. I believe it is just going to be Magic's to deal with the rest now. I don't think he will have time to get this reboot off anymore. I think this is just now Magic's dealing with his white heals at the end of the game. And if you look around, if we do a little drone free, yeah, he won't have time for this reboot in 9th zone because this 10 tick zone, 10 seconds, there's no real heals that make this a reliable strat anymore. So he's playing his floppers. He's got a few bandages to play, but with those bandages, he's going to make sure he's got apples stacked and other things stacked as well. Oh my god, he's pulled it off. Magic's has stacked just enough heals to actually go above in a 10 tick, and then Magic's needs to stay alive with those apples until his mates are rebooted. Because what happens is, if you guys didn't know, if this reboot player holds reboot for 10 seconds and then the teammates are in the process of coming out of this van, if that player then dies, these players in the van don't actually come out. Everyone dies. This player needs to stay alive until the players pop out of that van. Magic's was popping those apples to make sure that Qrei and Ajax could actually leave the van. If not, they're all dead. So those 2 or 3 5 HP apples are really, really important. Just as any Qrei strat, all these small white heals are the big difference makers in games like these. And now we're slowly transferring the loot in the middle of 9th moving zone to the campfire, finally, where we're going to have, I think, Ajax slowly transferring all this loot forward. Splashes are a really nice heal to use here because he can use them on the move. Doesn't have to stand still and pop them. So he's kept those splashes for that purpose so that he can run to this campfire and get all these heals off. And now it's 10 seconds till zone. If we get a good idea of what's happening right now, this 1 player, Cyrus 10 dot, struggled really hard to play this endgame out. And we have Ajax chilling on a campfire with some bandages, some floppers, medkits, and some apples. And I believe at this point the game is won. 3 more floppers, 12 more apples. The game is pretty much over. The game's been long won, and he could stay alive for another lot of seconds here with the extra 3 floppers. That's another 120 health. And an interesting thing which people tend to hate on, which I stand by, is that it does take away from the skill of winning this game. Poor guys that really did well this game, Cyrus, Populus, Tendox and Centix, have lived till the end of the game. They've killed everyone they've needed to kill. They've ended the game with 13 kills, last moving, and unfortunately they're not getting the win points because of this strategy. It's a really unfortunate reality at the moment. I wouldn't say Fortnite has to nerf everything, but I believe it's important that this is not in competitive for the reason that it isn't quite as skillful. And for that reason, I also believe Shadow Flopper padding is a bad meta to have in the game. It's skillful because it's in the game, and it's fine. People use Qrei Strat, people use that. They're not doing anything wrong, but I believe game developers should kind of adjust this to make competitive that little bit more skill-based. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. It was a different type of video today. Normally we've got live coaching going on in the past, but brought you a different video today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Different style of video. We might repeat this in a few different ways with a few different players, or maybe zoom the spotlight on a different types of play. Maybe how a low ground team, high ground team, different strategies, tactics. Got lots coming. Gonna get 2 videos out every week, so be sure to subscribe. Please like the video if you did like it. Comment what was good about it. Maybe comment what was bad about it so we can improve the content in the future. Really do appreciate all the support. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys the next time. Peace.